So the first thing that we're going to go over is fighting on the 45. So if you could all just look at my ship, I'm going to demonstrate a few different types of ways that you can turn your nose. So I'm not talking about moving forward or back, right? Because we're in spaceships. So we can go forward, back, left, right, up, down at will. What I'm talking about is moving your nose. So in order to get a gun solution onto a target, you must be able to get your nose onto them first. That's what we call rate fighting, right? If anyone's familiar with planes, a common way that people will try to get their nose on with a plane is to pitch up. So that's what I'm doing right now. This is called a pitch turn. So I'm just pushing forward on my mouse. For the stick users, it's like pulling back on your right stick, and you're whipping your nose in an upward direction, right? That's not actually the fastest way to turn in Star Citizen, because in Star Citizen we have 6 thruster groups that we can control. You can turn your nose in yaw or in pitch. Both of these movements isolate 2 thruster groups. However, you can use 3 thruster groups to manipulate your nose position. And that's what we call fighting on the 45. So with the 45, what do we mean? We mean instead of doing a pitch turn or a yaw turn, you do something in between both of them. So now I'm going to do a 45 turn where I push my mouse, or if you for your stick users, to the top right of the screen, or for the sticks, to the you pull back and then to the left. And now this moves your nose significantly faster because you're engaging additional thrusters. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Phoenix, you're doing one negative, so that's a negative 45. So if everyone could just one by one demonstrate a 45 turn. So let's go with Jazga first. Jagsa?
Jags, yeah, copy.
Jags, yeah. So that's a negative. Do a positive, please.
So, this way?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so that's top left. All right, can you do one to the top right? Sweet, thank you. Karma?
Which one?
You're up, Karma. 45 turn, any direction. Sweet, very nice, very nice. Let's see, Echo Knight, can you do one?
Yep.
Sweet, very nice. What about Phoenix? Perfect. Dipool? Excellent. So everyone here can do a 45 turn now. So the importance of this is huge. When you do a 45 turn, instead of a pitch or a yaw turn, you're manipulating your nose 40% faster than if you were to use only pitch or yaw. 40% is a huge increase. So what I want you to do is to pair off. So Dr. Karma, or actually let's get the Gladiuses with the Gladiuses. So Echo Knight and Jazga, go ahead and look at each other. Phoenix, you're with me. Dipool and Cray88, you're with each other. And so I want you just to look at each other, right? I'm sorry, I'm going to leave the Titan out because the Titan cannot do this exercise, but you can watch and you'll understand. So one of you guys, I don't care who, but one of you pick a 40 to do 45s and the other pick to do a pitch turn, okay? And I just want you to both figure that out now. So figure out who's going to do the 45 and who's going to do pitch, and then we're going to swap.
I'll do up.
I can do pitch, Craw.
Roger.
I'm up for any code.
Phoenix, what are you going to do?
I can do any. I don't mind.
Okay, so I want you to do a 45, okay, and I'll do pitch.
Yep.
So I'm going to count us down, and we're all going to do our respective turns, and whoever gets the nose on first, I want you to shoot the other person. You don't have to kill them or drop their shields. Just shoot them, just to let the other person know how much faster that 45 turn was, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so on 3 we'll go. 1, 2, 3.
Whoa.
So if you noticed, all of you guys, the 45 turner got to nose and guns position while you were still completing your turn if you were in pitch. This is a situation that you never want to be in, because that means that you're losing the turn fight. And if you continue to lose the turn fight, they will eventually be behind you, and there will be no way for you to recover from that situation, right, without completely disengaging from the fight. So maintaining 45 is super important. So now we're going to swap roles. So if you were 45 turning, now you're going to use pitch. And if you were pitch turning, now you're going to do a 45. Again, on 3, we'll go. 1, 2, 3. So it's a pretty significant advantage. So hopefully with the Titan, you were able to kind of watch that and see the
I
difference
see
in turn
everyone.
speeds.
I can see everyone at the same time, and it's very significant. Yeah.
Yeah, 40%, it's a big difference. So this is one of the most important core concepts of dogfighting in Star Citizen, is that if you're trying to complete pitch turns, you're never getting anywhere. You must be doing 45 turns. How do you achieve 45 turns? Well, what you can do is you can roll. So what you need to be doing is you need to watch where your enemy is and where your enemy is going to be. And you need to create an imaginary line between those 2 points, and then you're going to align either the top left or the top right 45, so that's in between pitch and yaw on your screen. You're going to put that 45, whichever one's closer, to that line, that imaginary line of where your opponent is and where they're going to be. So you're using your roll, so that's Q and E for keyboard and left stick or right stick, however you guys have it set up for the stick users. But you're constantly using your roll to maintain a 45-degree turning solution. If at any point you catch yourself in all pitch, just do a little bit of a roll and move to that 45, right? If at any point you pull your mouse down or push your stick forward for the stick users, that's really bad. Now you're doing what we call a negative pitch turn. A negative pitch turn is the slowest possible turn. It is the worst solution. You will black out or you'll red out the fastest. You will turn the slowest, and you can't see your enemy anymore. So if you ever are pushing your mouse forward to track someone, or pushing the stick forward to track someone, pulling the mouse down or pushing the stick forward to track, that's negative pitch. That's the worst possible position to be in. So never do that. Anytime you do it, think to yourself, I should have rolled there. You can make tiny corrections on the 45 by reducing your 45 input, but you should never be doing something like a negative pitch track. And that's a habit that's very hard to break, because when you're doing PvE bounties, you can do it. You can get, the AI sucks. It will let you get away with the worst habits, and it will ingrain them into you. And so this is one of the biggest things that we need to drill out is the sloppy pushing your nose down. No pushing down, only 45s, top left, top right. Now, yes, you can 45 to the bottom, but you will red out faster, and you will not reach peak turn rate as quickly. And on top of that, you aren't looking at your opponent. You must always be looking at your opponent, because if you're looking at them, you're presenting the smallest possible hitbox, and you can see their ship, right? So with your partners, what I want you guys to do is to set your speed limiters on. I don't want anyone going super fast for this, but I want you to try to, within the green bar, just maneuver around each other. And what each of you should be trying to do is to push underneath your opponent's ship while maintaining a 45. Does that make sense? So you want to force your opponent to be off the 45. Try to trick them into doing a negative pitch while you're on the 45. All right? So everyone go ahead and try to do that. If you crash, that's okay. No shooting, just maneuvering.
Where'd you go?
Behind you.
I'm
Ow.
behind you, Phoenix.
Come back. I need to target you so I can figure out where you are.
I'll stop.
Where is...
It's beautiful to watch.
Yeah, so it's like a little dance.
Mm-hmm.
And you're constantly flipping the roll, and you're going to try to push underneath your opponent's belly. If you can get underneath your opponent's belly, you can get behind them. That, your opponent does not want to happen. If it does, roll. So Phoenix, yeah, put me on the 45. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, I lose tracking easily.
Yeah, so am I.
That's okay.
Oh,
Damn, Gra, you're fast.
Just as you said that, I lost your bead.
It's hard for me to track the beam. It's really hard. Like, I don't see it fast enough.
It'll come with time. Just make sure that you're only doing those upward 45 turns.
Now, that's largely because your weakest thrusters are on the top, correct?
That's exactly correct. Your strongest strafe thrusters are on the bottom. Up strafe is the strongest strafe that you have, except for forward. Sweet. Phoenix, you're looking pretty good to me.
Okay, I
I'm
have
gonna
no idea what I
go
was doing.
watch. No, you're fine. What you weren't doing was the bad things like negative tracking. So that's perfect.
Okay.
Just gonna go look at Echo and Jazz.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you for that dance, Phoenix.
Yeah, it was fun. It was more fun trying to avoid the station or trying to track you.
Yeah, no, I liked how everyone was doing. Everything was looking good. So yeah, just now, my key takeaway here is, even when you're trading, do 45 turns. When you take off, do 45 turns. Why? Just to ingrain it into your flying. When you get into combat stress and combat situations, especially if you weren't expecting it, you need to have that muscle memory there to rely on. But anytime you're out in the verse, just do 45s. No reason to pitch turn, no reason to yaw turn, don't get lazy with it. Always roll yourself, so you're practicing your roll, and always do 45 turns, just because you can. And if you do that, you're getting a 40% faster turning ship. So it's not about even what ship you're in anymore. Someone who's not doing 45 turns versus someone who is, a cutter will get behind an arrow that isn't 45ing. Yeah, the Drake cutter, the piece of shit starter ship that can't turn. If it 45s, it can turn faster than an arrow.
Mm.
So it's not at all about the ship, all about the technique. And that's how you end up with some of those pilots that, they're in an Aurora and people think they're an easy fight. They smoke someone like 1v4. Like, they bring their friends and this Aurora kills all of them. None of them are 45 turning. The Aurora is 45 turning. The Aurora is actually an A-tier fighter.
That makes a lot of sense to practice getting into muscle memory.
Yep, 100%. So commit it to muscle memory. Always be 45 turning every time you're out there. Alright, so the next core concept that we're going to go over is power management. So I'm sure all of you guys are familiar with the power triangle, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
So with the power triangle, you need to have binds on either your joysticks or your keyboard to be able to manipulate it. And you need to have specifically the bind that you want is if you go to your options, key bindings, advanced control customizations, and then it's going to be the setting that we're going to want is under options, key bindings, advanced control customization, vehicles, power triangle assignment, and it's weapons set to max tap, engines set to max tap, and shields set to max tap. It's important that you have those three binds because you need to be able to switch to 100% power between the three available systems quickly and many times during flight, especially combat flight. So if everyone could go ahead and find some binds that work for them, for the stick users, just
Do you
think about
change it
a
to
hat.
tap?
You
I
just
think you
double
did.
click the control and then you click the button that you would like the bind to be on. For me, as a mouse and keyboard pilot, I use 1, 2, and 3. So weapons set to max is 1 tap, and then engine set to max tap is 2, and shield set to max tap is 3.
Alright, so key bindings, advanced, right?
And then scroll down that page till you find what's the setting? Vehicles, power triangle assignment. binds section. Why do you need those binds? When you switch power between different systems, it's very important that you be 100% power to a subsystem, because when you're 100% power to any of your subsystems, you actually get a 30% buff that is only there if you're in full power to that system for shields and for boost. And for weapons, you don't use full power to weapons ever, except to reload capacitors that are drained. You never sit in full power to weapons. So what I want everyone to do is to be shooting, right? For this exercise, you're going to shoot, and you're going to be, when you're shooting, you're going to be power to shields, and then when you're, or engines, pick one of those. It just can't be weapons. And then when your magazines are depleted, you're going to switch back power to weapons, let the magazines reload, and once they're reloaded, you switch back to shields or to boost, and then you can shoot again. So think of power to weapons being a reload feature. It's not a boost your weapon output. It's a reload for your weapon capacitors. So no need to shoot at anyone, but just shoot off into the void, dump the magazine, and then switch power to weapons, let the charge happen, and then switch back to boost or to shields. And now this is going to be the tempo of a dogfight. So everyone go ahead and get comfortable with that. So of course when you're in a fight, it's going to be a little bit more challenging, but you never want to get caught sitting in full power to weapons, because every second, and now you notice how for most of you guys, you're able to shoot constantly. It doesn't feel like your guns are shooting less, right? Even though you're spending most of the time not in power to guns, right?
Right.
Alright, everyone, let's take a pause on the shooting, but very good. So it's not sacrificing the damage output of your ship by flip-flopping. What it is getting you is a 30% active buff to your engine systems or your shield systems. So when you switch to full power to shields, you get 30% more shield health instantaneously based on how much shield you have remaining. So you get 15% more HP to your shields. If your shields are at 50%, you get 30% more effective HP to your shields if they're at 100%. That's a big difference in shield durability. And the bigger the ship you're flying, the more that matters. The more seconds that you can sustain fire for before you start taking hull damage. When you're full power to engines, you burn boost. So if you use shift key, or for the stick users, whatever you have your boost key set to, you burn boost 30% slower. So it's super important that you be using those buffs during the fight rather than sitting in full power to weapons. Because if you're full power to weapons, all of the time that you're spending pulling the trigger is wasted capacitor management time that could have been going to additional shield HP or burning boost slower, right? So that's the theory behind it. So now, how do we put it into practice? So what I want you to do is pair off and remember to use your 45 turns. So Jazz and Cray, let's get you together. Phoenix, you're with me.
Yeah, I've lost your pin. It doesn't pop up on the screen anymore.
Oh, try tagging me again. How's that?
One sec. No, it's not popping up anymore.
That's weird. Star
I wouldn't worry about
Citizen.
pins too much. Pins aren't too relevant. Just go ahead and target each other and keep each other targeted.
Yo, who's shooting?
Got
Oh,
Phoenix.
wait, you're shooting me, okay.
Yeah.
There is a guy, but the criminal is watching him.
Shields almost at. Ooh!
Someone ran
You
into
clipped your
something.
ring right through me. I saw it coming for the
Oh, I'm missing
wind
part
visor.
of my wing.
Good.
Yep.
Go ahead,
Came
just
right
back
through my
to base,
windshield.
You can respawn your ship.
That
Yep.
was fun.
Nice job, Phoenix, with those 45s.
I'm letting you self-destruct.
Good job getting the shields back. You can fly into the station too, or a rock.
Like an old manual self-destruct.
Alright, let's go ahead and switch up people that we're working with. Let's see. Does anyone feel like they're struggling with the power management, switching between the two?
Negative.
Nope.
Yeah, I am struggling a little bit, but I think it's just getting used to it.
Who is that?
Die.
Die. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and see what you're doing. Let me find you.
I am above, right next to the center.
Okay. Alright, I found you, Die. Alright, Die. Whoever your partner was, go ahead and have them go with Phoenix.
Hi, Phoenix.
Alright, Die. So let's do a flare pass and start this out. Sweet. Lights on.
Jeez.
Oh! Mutually assured destruction!
Alright, Die.
This one
Power
has a link.
management should be in boost until 10 seconds have passed, then it should go to shields. And then you get the shields back. Then now charge your weapons if they're not charged.
Yeah, they're charged.
And then go straight back to shields.
That's great. Echo.
Where you at? Do a flare pass.
If you double tap T, you can ping on to me.
Right, where are you?
Coming up to you now.
Tetsumo wants to fight me.
Hello.
Hang on, I'm going out a little bit so I don't run into a rock. Evaluna. That's interesting. Hey Phoenix, I'll meet you at the top of the thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, shield's down.
Roger.
Don't worry, Die. We'll go over how to disengage. Alright, I think you're doing fine. It's just going to come down to practice, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Shields up.
Hi, Karma.
Behind you, Echo.
Hello.
It's just losing the pin. I'm so used to looking for the pin.
Yeah, I wouldn't, I would try to not use the pins at all, because an enemy can just drop noise, and it'll break your pin in the PU.
Yeah. But how do you find somebody that doesn't have a pin? You know, if you're dogfighting them, like here in Arena Commander, and
hopefully-
you leave the pin.
Well, you should hopefully just leave your opponent targeted, and if you do somehow lose the lock, you're gonna just have to find it again. If you're in a 1v1, you know, you're gonna have to go by the name, and whoever the ship is closest to you is probably who you were fighting. If you're in the PU, a bind that I use is cycle nearest hostile, so I press T once to target who I'm looking at, but I double tap T to cycle to the nearest hostile target. So that's normally who's attacking
I've
me,
got no
right?
shields.
Because they're the closest hostile. So if I lose the targets for some reason, I just double tap T, and that's going to immediately target whoever the closest hostile is, which is almost 99% of the time the person attacking
shields
me,
are back.
right?
Yeah. So here's what I was. All right. So I'm here in front of you.
Okay.
Well, now you're pointing away from me. All right.
I see.
So you've broken. Like I know you're my top left, right?
Yep.
Because you've moved around. I
Yep.
was losing the indicator.
Oh,
as to
okay.
where you were, the pin.
You're talking about the target indicator.
Oh!
Yeah.
So if that's a bug, now try targeting me again. If you now, do you have the targeting indicator?
Yeah.
So that's just a bug. And that can happen in PU too. If for some reason you don't have a targeting indicator, you just want to drop chaff and sit in the chaff cloud. So that way it'll break your radar locks on everything around you, and your radar will rescan when you get out of the chaff, and then you'll be good to go. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's just a bug that happens, unfortunately, with ship-to-ship combat. Just maintaining situational awareness and doing your best, though, is what you got to do. If it happens to you, it can also happen to them. So it's just unlucky if it happens to you at that moment. So we've gone over 45 turning, which is the fastest way to turn. We've gone over power management, which is super important because it lets you fly a 30% more performant ship as far as the systems go and the health goes, right? So you combine those two things together, and you're flying a third of a stronger ship than your opponent is just by those two things, right? So it's super important that you always be doing these. All right, is everyone
don't
here?
see you.
I'm shooting lasers
Okay,
He's
nice.
right in front of me.
right in front of y'all. All right. So now we're going to go over how do you be defensive while still being offensive. You have to keep your nose on the target. If at any point your nose is not on the target, you're in a bad position. Even if you're trying to run away or be defensive, you still stare your opponent down. Because as you can see when I'm looking at all of you guys, see how small my hitbox is, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's much smaller than if I pull my nose down, 45 degrees even. Notice how my hitbox is over twice as large now. It's much easier to land shots on me, right? Also, remember how I said, and we went over, that upstrafe is your strongest strafe, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I try to dodge shots, I'm going to go upstrafe and then downstrafe right now. Just like this. Notice how you can still hit me pretty easily?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now if I look at all of you, and I'm going to do the same thing, upstrafe and downstrafe, look how much harder it is to track. Because I'm now 90 degrees in movement in my strafes versus you, perpendicular strafes, right? That's what you want, is you want to be staring at your opponent, because it gives them the smallest hitbox, and your strafes, whether it be left, right, or up and down, give the largest change in momentum relative to your opponent's aim. So it makes you the hardest to hit as you can be, right?
Mm-hmm.
This poor Gladius over here is like, what the hell are these guys doing? So the point of this is that you give your opponent the hardest shot possible. Now, when you're dodging up and down, left or right, it's also harder for you to hit your shots. So you need to be thinking about, am I trying to hit my shots or am I trying to dodge? If your mags are full, you should be trying to hit your shots. If your mags are empty, you should be strafing like a madman. Just be complicated, be erratic. So I like to just do up and to the left and then down and to the right, or down and to the left and up and to the right. And what it looks like is this. It's just this diagonal strafe pattern, right? But you can get pretty crazy with it. If you use some boost in there as well, you can do circles. Now notice how I'm not moving closer or further away from you, really. I'm still staying at this pretty medium close range, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's really hard to track someone who's strafing. That is evasion. What a lot of people do is they start doing this barrel roll shit. No barrel rolls. Barrel rolls are not evasions. You use your roll to maintain 45, so you can maintain nose on, so you can strafe at 90 degrees to your opponent. That is good evasion. So, up, down, left, and right. When you see the opponent shoot, you will visually see laser coming at you. That's your key. I should change strafe direction right then, right? So if every time your opponent shoots, you change strafe. Like if you're going up strafe and then you just go to down strafe, when they shoot, they're going to have to correct. And that's going to make you much harder to hit and have a much longer survival time, right? So remember to be 45ing, always keeping your nose on, and use strafes to dodge. Roll is not evasive. Roll is to maintain 45. So no barrel rolling to dodge shots. It doesn't work. It never will. Strafes, keep nose on, maintain 45s. Whoever has better nose on position will win the fight. And that's it, pretty much. So strafe to take less damage, keep nose on to win the fight. So we're going to pair off again. And so go ahead and pick new partners, please, everyone. And all of you are going to duel, but you're going to duel until you kill each other. I want you to use your 45s. I want you to use your power management. And when you're getting shot, so when you see the enemy fire, change strafe direction. That's it. Just a small change in your strafe direction. So if you're strafing to the left and they shoot, you start strafing to the right. You will notice it will keep you alive a lot longer. At no point do I want any of you guys to take your nose off of the opponent. If you take your nose off of the opponent, you're probably going to die. So make sure that you maintain nose on. All right, so go ahead, pair off, find someone.
Who doesn't have a partner?
Okay.
Cold. Alright.
Who's that?
Cry.
Cry. All right, Cry. There's a flare. Sweet. All right, you're going to lose targeting from that chaff. I'm in front of you, though.
Yeah. Try.
Yeah, turn around. All right,
Thank
yeah.
you.
No,
Yeah,
don't be
okay.
dropping chaff, because you're going to just break your own targeting, and it'll be a lot harder for you to start. There you go.
Nice shooting, Neko.
Yeah.
Of course, you caught me when I wasn't ready for you.
Good fight. So if you notice, Cry, there was actually a point where you dodged an entire magazine from me while maintaining nose on. That's what I want to see. That's perfect.
So what I was doing was when I knew my shields were down, I tried to, what was it? I tried to upstrafe while using my front thrusters to get distance away from you.
Yeah, that's
using-
yeah, increasing distance and then using random strafes
Good fight,
while
Jax.
looking at the opponent is exactly what you want.
There you are.
Good fight, Kra. Most of the damage came through when you were nose off.
Of course.
So yeah, that's why it's super important to keep that nose on, because just that 1.5 seconds that you were nose off, I connected almost every shot, versus when you were nose on, some shots here and there were hitting. And I'm trying to aim just as hard when you're nose on. It's just significantly harder to hit that tiny hitbox when you're strafing. Alright, so let's get everyone finished up real quick, and hopefully everyone learned a little bit of something there, and got to practice some of your strafes. If anyone's still dueling, just go ahead and finish up, and then we'll meet up again at the top, right where we were. I'm gonna go hit the bathroom real quick,
Okay.
and I'll be right back.
Jax, you want to finish this draw then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I am myself. I'm gonna have to call it soon. So I've got work in the morning.
Here we go. GG. Let's go to the top laser. Ah, darn.
That's fine. Okay. So the last thing that we're going to go over is how to move fast as you can in a singular line. So what's this important for? Disengaging and chasing. So if someone's running away from you, you need to know how to do this to catch up to them, or to at least maintain speed and distance with them. If you want to run away from someone, you also have to know how to do this, all right? What we call it is a tricord. It's called a tricord because you're using 3 thruster groups to push your ship in one line. The thruster groups that you have to use are forward and up, and you can use left or right, whichever one you prefer. So, but forward and up are mandatory, boost is mandatory, and then you choose left or right. What this maneuver will do is, if you're targeting me real quick, it will shove your ship forward, up, and to the left or to the right. So your direction of travel will not be where you're looking. It'll be the top left or the top right of your screen. When done properly, it looks something like this. Notice how my arrow went to the top left or the top right for your guys' perspective, right? But it did so incredibly quick. This is important because that's the fastest acceleration you can get in a straight line. Where you can use this is for disengaging from fights. What a lot of people will do is, they'll be fighting you, their shields will go down, and then they think, I'm going to pull my nose away from the target, and I'm going to fly off in this direction, right? You made 2 mistakes here, though. One, you pulled your nose off, and you showed them your belly. Yeah, so that's not good. And then the second mistake is you told your opponent, I'm going to run away, and this is the direction that I'm going to go. Very bad. You don't want to do that. They're going to kill you. Almost like 100% they're going to kill you if you do that. You're just going to die. You just gave them a super easy shot, told them that you can go full power to guns and I can't shoot back at you anymore. And I'm going to give you this giant shot. Oh, and by the way, I'm running that direction. You can't do that. If you do that, that's suicide. You just killed yourself. What you have to do instead is you have to fly straight towards them as fast as possible. What this will do is it forces your opponent to turn around before they can shoot you. So they now have to complete a turn to be able to shoot you again, right? And if you just keep going, they aren't going to be able to catch up.
Yeah.
You're out of range. You'll be out of weapons range before they can finish turning around. So what I do is I'm going to pull my nose down and to the right until you're just in the top right corner of my screen. So I'm looking at Echo Knight, and Echo Knight's in the top right corner of my screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not looking at Echo Knight anymore, but I'm going to pull my nose off of her just a teeny bit, and then I'm going to do a tricord, so WA spacebar and boost all at the same time. I'm going to fly right over your guys' heads. And by the time you turn around, I'm already 2 clicks away. That's how you can complete a disengage from a target that you no longer want to fight. So if they get your shields down like right away and you didn't hit any shots and you want to reset the fight, you can do so by tricording past them. Without a tricord though, if I just tried to run away like this, slowly, right? It's so easy to chase me and catch me and just kill me, right?
Yeah,
It's
even with the Titan.
Yeah, it's super cake. Even with the Titan, you're gonna die. You can't do it. So instead, you have to pull the nose off and tricord straight at them.
Ooh,
Just like
Oh,
you flew straight into me.
that. Yeah, that's the point. That's the point. My point is that this maneuver can be aimed if you practice it a little bit. You can just tricord into people whenever you want if you practice it. So what I want you guys to do is to go back to doing some duels. When your shields go down, though, I want you to tricord straight at your opponent, alright? If you hit them, cool. That was close. Ideally, try to survive, but if you hit them, no worries. None of you are probably going to hit each other. Aiming a tricord into another ship is actually really hard. Hooray! Or actually, I'll go with Jazzgeth. Jagza, you're with me? Oh great, this dude is here.
Tricord die. Tricord.
Tricording.
You're going away from me. You're supposed to be going at me.
I am not good at this stuff. I've already. I'm not.
I'm having trouble as well. I mean, I'm not sure I'm doing it right.
Are
So
you
for
sticks?
tricording, do you want to raise your speed limit or?
Yes, everyone needs to turn the speed limiter off. You have to turn the speed limiter off for this to work. Alright, Jack.
I don't have a
Near criminals on that. That dude that was chasing you, near criminals now on him again, so. Alright, Jag, I am flying towards you. Alright, see me. Alright.
That was cool.
So, flare pass. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, what the?
I think he got tricording to work.
Yeah, I got stuck.
Alright, that guy's gonna fuck off and near criminal will chase them now. Alright. We'll do a flare pass, Jag. Alright. And when your shields drop, tricord out. Alright, you gotta get out. Now, you don't want to no nose movements when tricording, so because you turned around, I'm still with you. But if you kept going, that would have worked.
Okay.
So charge up your shields and your boost, and we'll do it again. So remember, everyone, I forgot to mention this, you can't move your nose while tricording. Once you get past them, you leave the nose position the same, you just keep going in that line. Alright, Jag. You are successfully out, Jag. I tried to chase you, you're 3 clicks away. Perfect. So see how much distance you were able to create and how quickly you were able to get out of my weapons range?
Yeah.
That's what you want to do. Alright. Try it again.
Yeah.
And you're out. Yeah, I'm trying to chase you. I'm aiming at tricord after you. You're 3 clicks again. So you're doing it perfect. Now I'm going to do it to you, and you'll get to kind of see how it feels from your end, right? And you'll notice it's very, very hard to chase someone. It's impossible, basically. We need to move back into the position, though, in the center. Not that much, but alright, just turn around.
I can't hit for shit with fixed weapons though.
Yeah, that'll come with time, don't worry. You have to use fixed, though.
It's just a joystick movement, so...
Alright, so you got my shields down. I'm just going to tricord out. See you later, Jag.
Yeah. 2.5,
Pretty effective, huh?
2.6,
Yeah.
Even boosting, I can't catch it.
No, nothing can catch a tricord. If you're in one of the meta light fighters, there's really nothing you can do except watch them get away. If you turn around and you show them your 6 and start a tricord with them, you can catch them, but that's an incredibly risky maneuver because it involves showing them your 6.
I can't get your shields down for shit, Echo.
I don't like that. Bye.
Well, yeah, 3.5.
And you're trying to chase too. That's
Yeah,
the crazy thing. That's why tricording is so effective, is because the only way you're catching them is if you turn around as they're coming towards you, show them your 6, and start a tricord too.
Yeah.
But that is incredible. That comes with so many risks.
Yeah, you have to anticipate it, don't you?
You have to anticipate it, predict it, do it on time, and hope that the enemy pilot doesn't anticipate you're anticipating it and then punish you the hell out of you for it. Because if they do, they get your 6 and you'd probably die. But I believe in you. I've never had someone not be able to get it. You just got to put in some time, some effort, but start with some Pirate Swarm and some Vandal Swarm. Play against the PvE enemies and try tracking them. And once you get a good handle at tracking them, you'll be able to do a lot better at starting to track players. Does that make sense?
I mean, I've done Pirate Swarm like 6, 7 times. The issue is not AI. The issue is because I can beat up to Swarm level 6, I think it was, and then I get dead. But that's not a big problem. The AI is not the issue. The issue is I can't. Once somebody breaks across my screen, I can't find them again. My eyes are not fast enough to track the targeting thing.
Okay. Well, you don't have to track the targeting thing. You can anticipate where their ship's going to be, and you just need to create that 3D spatial map in your head. If you can't do that, it should come with time.
You might need a different HUD color, like red. It'll be easier to track for you, because there's not much red in space.
Yeah. The Asperia Blade has a red HUD.
It's like changing your AoE color and fuck.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Contrast, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks guys. I'll talk to y'all later.
Right.
Take care. Right, Dave.
Alright.
Have a good night.
We'll practice later.
Alrighty. So, Kra. Thanks for the
Howdy.
demo, by the way.
What was that?
Thanks for the dance.
Oh, I love it.
Good job, Jazz. You got out. I did get the poke, but you got out. That's the end of the class. That's all the core concepts and fundamentals. It's all about just doing them all at once, which is hard, but that's where practice comes in. Everyone can do this, you know. Over in Vanguard, we've got like grandpas that do this stuff and will beat your ass.
Definitely learn something.
If 77-year-old men can do this, you know, anyone can do this. They had to put in some time and some practice. Yeah, maybe they didn't learn as quick as the 20-something, but they still got it. It just took them a week.
How often do you employ circle strafing or fighting in the cone?
I try to always fight nose on. Like the amount of in order for you to get another pilot who's a human's 6, they have to make an egregious, grave mistake, and you have to capitalize on it. So the amount of times that happens is small, especially if you're fighting other PvP players. If you're fighting someone that